Among the crafts, the use of metal became very important during this period. The innumerable land grants in the form of copperplate charters testify to the extensive use of metals. The use of bronze was also very popular during this period.
Chola bronze are very famous. So we have bronzes, we have bronze images, and apart from the Cholas, bronzes are there in the Pala period also in Bengal. So we have this kind of things. And from the present day Bhagalpur region, which is known as Anga, which was known as Anga in early times, we have reference to very good quality swords. So swords were being made in this region. For Bengal, octoalloy was very important, which actually flourished in this period. We have images of octoalloys. So these are the different kinds of crafts that grew.
The crafts gave rise to important formations such as the guilds.
In the early medieval period also, we have references to guild-like organization. I would not like to call it guilds, but rather it is better we call guild-like organizations, because guild is an European term.
Yeah.
And guild-like organizations, the names which we find in the inscriptions are like Sreni, Puga, Goshti, this sort of names we find. The guilds were not acting as banks anymore. That means the trust of the craftsmen were not so much with the guilds. And why was it so? The reason for this was that we have multiple centers, we have multiple headmen. All the guilds had a headman, and the basic character of the guilds was their cohesive nature. And so this cohesiveness was missing in the early medieval period. So when for a particular guild you have a new number of headmen, so naturally this cohesive character was missing, and then we find that gradually in the early medieval period the guilds were being converted into jatis.
The Suvarnakaras were guilds of the goldsmiths, while the Karmakaras were guilds of the blacksmiths.
So these guilds, when we get these jatis, they were originally goldsmiths, and gradually they were crystallized into castes, which we call jati. So naturally their cohesive character was missing in this period. But this was not the case in South India. South India, it was totally different. There we have merchant organizations which flourished like anything. They were involved not only in intra-regional trading but also inter-regional trading, which means suppose a guild from Karnataka is also engaged in trading with a guild from Tamil Nadu. So they were having exchange networks, and they were actually moving. And among this, the guilds from South India, we find that the most famous was a guild known as 500 Swamis of Ajavole. Aihol's ancient name was Ajavole. So this 500 Swamis of Ajavole, they actually formed this guild in the Karnataka region. But gradually we find that they were moving towards the south, and then they concentrated in the Tamil Nadu region. Apart from this, they also got interested in the maritime trade network. So they were involved in inter-regional trade, they were involved in intra-regional trade, and they were also involved in overseas trade network. Apart from this, we have other guilds known as Manigramam. Then we have Nanadesi, Ainur River. So we have different kinds. We have so much of guild-like formations in South India that it became a very important part of the whole economic network during the early medieval period.